Metro Police, SAPS, Traffic and Correctional Services are now enjoying even better benefits because SAPU is championing workers' independency, prosperity and professionalism through free workplace representation, free advice and legal assistance of up to 100,000 Rand per case, including a free social responsibility payout benefit to your family. Join SAPU. Call 086 137 8887 or SMS SAPU to 43366. T's and C's apply.
Well, welcome. We've got Sabutwa here with us today, one of SAPU's members. Sabutwa, don't you just want to tell us just a little bit about yourself, when you joined SAPS and when you came across onto the SAPU?
I joined the SAPS September the 19th, officially 2003. And then I underwent training like everybody. And then at the training center itself, I joined this up.
Sabutwa, being a member of SAPU for so long, don't you just want to tell us what SAPU has done for you over the last couple of years?
Yes, SAPU came to our rescue on 2015, whereby we got a complaint regarding two suspicious motor vehicles in Krugerstop, precisely Lepers Flay. And then I was driving with my crew, being Sergeant Chipu. By then she was a constable. And then as we drive around, we found those cars parked near one of the business centers there, a supermarket, and then with no occupants inside. And then we stopped and parked diagonally across the roads to see who are the occupants of the vehicles. And then while still waiting there, three guys came in walking towards the cars, African males, and then they two got into the first car that was parked in front, and one got into the second car that was parked just right behind the first one. And then I went, approached them, and I asked my colleague to be ready with his R5 so that if anything should happen, we can at least defend ourselves. And then I searched both cars. After searching both cars, I asked them, where do they come from? They said they are coming from one of the hostels around Krugerstop. And those hostels in Krugerstop, they've got names. I asked them to specifically name at least which one is it, but they couldn't give me one of the names of the hostels around Krugerstop. That's when I realized that something is not right here. And then after searching them, my colleague called me with police signal to withdraw. I withdrew to her, went to her. While at the car, she showed me one of the guys with whom we suspect was driving with those guys walking past towards into the hardware. And then we drove a little, because it wasn't a distance, we drove a little towards the hardware entrance. We get out of the car. We gave him an order to raise his hands, we want to search him. Even before I could finish the order, he started shooting at my colleague, being Sergeant Chipu. But luckily enough, she wasn't hurt, and nobody of the community was also hurt there. And then he managed to run out of the hardware after my colleague retaliated by shooting back at him. And then he ran out of the hardware. We gave a chase by the street, and one of our sector vehicles, being Constable Sohole and Constable Mabela, was around the area, and they heard the gunshots, and they saw the vehicles that we were driving. They came to our vehicle to find out what was happening. In the meantime, we had already asked for backup, that there's a shooting in Lepers Flay whereby suspects is shooting at us. So there was congestion in the radio regarding who wants to talk, our location, where are we. So we couldn't give Sogole and Mabela the right direction, but we saw where the suspects ran, and then we followed him. So they were driving in front of us, and then they didn't see the suspects. As they drive close towards the suspects turn around to withdraw the firearm, shoot at them, because they didn't know who he was. And then their car lost control, drove over a pavement, and suddenly the ignition turned itself off. whilst they are still inside. And then we continue chasing him into Grey Street, from Edward Street to Grey Street, and then into Harvey Street, while busy exchanging fire with him. And then he was got shot at Harvey Street. That's where the story ended regarding the suspects. And then from there, we called the relevant role players. I opened the case. I called the IP, I called the duty officer, the photographer, the mortuary van, and then everything was done accordingly as per order regarding if there is any situation of that nature whereby all reports needs to be done and completed by all relevant stakeholders. From there, the case docket was registered against the deceased, and then whereby the deceased fell, there was a CCTV coverage, and then it caught the whole scene as to how and what happened. So they took the CCTV clip from that house, and then everything was done. Our firearms were taken for ballistic test at the station on the same day. And from there, we knocked off duty, say around 7 o'clock. We were supposed to knock off duty around 8. But due to the scene cause it came in the afternoon, everything was done late, and then it was completed towards around 7 o'clock. That's when we knocked off duty.
So don't you just want to take us through the process thereafter? So you've gone home that evening. What transpired thereafter?
No, from the scene, because we called all the relevant stakeholders, there was nothing wrong with what happened there. Even the IPT, there was a lady from IPT to acknowledge work that we have done a good job, because there was a firearm of that suspect there to show that he was shooting at us. And then we went home with our own conscience, knowing there's nothing wrong that we did. And then the following day, we were reporting for night duty. And then we started hearing that there's going to be a case against us, that we've murdered an individual. So we never had to worry about anything, because what I wrote on the statement is a logic of what transpired from the time we were called to go and look for those suspicious vehicles, of which we found, and till the end whereby the suspect was shot dead. So we never knew that there will be something that will be planned against us. Then we carry on, and those rumors keep on coming day in, day out, and then they open a case against us. So eventually it was registered that there is a case of murder against 4 of us. And then we didn't do anything, we just waited for them to come and sort whatever the issue they are having with us, because by then we would be a suspect. And then on the 29th, on the 30th, it was Thursday, October 2015, the IP people came to the station. I was the only one who is on duty amongst the 4. The 2 were on leave, one was on sick. Allegedly, it was meant to arrest us, so they couldn't arrest because I was the only one on duty. So it's like they postponed for arrangement regarding the arrest. And then on Friday, it went past there's nothing wrong. Saturday also nothing wrong. Sunday morning, there was a same video took from the Harvey Street that went viral on national TV. And then Monday, we were called in to the station to come, and we were then told that we are under arrest. So we handed ourselves in fact. So they detained us, they arrested us, and then SAPU heard that police officers are arrested regarding the so-called murder of a suspect who was shooting at them. They came into picture, they arranged lawyers for us, they took us to court, they declined us bail. That was the second November, it was Monday, they declined us our bail. They said we must do formal bail application. They took us from Krugersdorp police station to Rodeport police station, waiting for that 7 days for formal bail applications. We came back, they declined the bail, and then SAPU felt that because the magistrate was white and the prosecutor was white, something is not right. They requested for the prosecutor to be recused so that they can get a black person. Maybe it could be neutral for the proceedings to be fair. Then they got one lady which is African, then he was the prosecutor. From there they also declined it, and then we were given 3 more days to come back for yet another bail hearing. We were taken to Kagiso police station, and then we came back for the third one, which also was declined, and then we were referred to Krugersdorp prison. And that's when SAPU was still fighting for our release with a bail, because they know where we were working. We were not flight risk. We could have not left our job unattended, because they know our work address and also our residential address. And then they took the High Court route to go and get us our bail. That's when we got the bail from Pretoria, North Gauteng High Court in Pretoria. And there was so much support regarding the situation itself, because everybody have seen the truth regarding the release of the clip that was taken from the house that the guy fell while he was shot at. And we also released we were lucky to get our own clip from one of the businessmen by Edward Street while he was shooting at Segole and Mabela, whereby it shows, and then people tend to realize that they showed only one side of the story. They didn't show the other side, because they only wanted to paint it us as the wrong people who killed somebody innocent, while he's the one who started shooting at us. So when they saw the second video, that's when they realized that police were on the right track. And it got so much support all over from South Africa, whereby police officers came to our court almost when we were appearing from all over South Africa to give us support. And they even made initiatives regarding T-shirts to write who should die between the police and criminal. Police are our protectors, and we need to protect them in turn. So from there we got our bail, and then we got released. We were suspended for 3 months. After the 3 months period elapsed, there was an extension, of which in my years in the service I've never heard that it's been done before or has been done, but it was done with us. And then the extension also elapsed. Then we were taken back to work. We proceeded working, and then we were given court days, whereby the final date was that we will be attending murder case in Gauteng High Court. And then when we get there, we only find that on the date of trial, they've changed the court place, and then they said we must go attend it at Palm Ridge Court. And then with the support that we've seen during the bail applications, we thought that they felt threatened by the support, that maybe there could be a disruption in the court proceeding, because there was a massive support regarding what had happened. And now that they tend to call us suspects. So they thought maybe taking it further down to Palm Ridge Court, because it's going to be a distance, people cannot come to support us there. And then the proceedings went on and on until 2 of the members, Chibu and Sogole, were not found guilty. And then I was found guilty of common assault, and Mabela was found guilty of murder. So the proceedings carried on again for the sentence. And then on the 20th July, there was a sentencing. And then I was given a fine of 500. And then Mabela was released on suspension of 5 years. Yeah, during that 3-year process whereby we didn't know our fate, SAPU was standing by our side, taking into consideration that court proceedings, is money involved. We couldn't have make it without SAPU because it was somehow along the road, we wouldn't gonna be able to pay the expenses regarding the lawyer who was defending us. And then to members out there, please, and please again, join the unions, and especially SAPU, because with my experience, I've seen that it has worked wonders regarding what we were going through. It has helped us a lot.